Hey folks, Stewart here in Drone Paradise. So excited to be back in this incredible landscape. It's a touch windy, which means it's a little bit harder to get super smooth, glossy, active track, focus track, spotlight shots. I'm going to show you a super secret special technique. It's a bit of a hack, you could say, to make sure that you get perfect results every single time. The focus track technology on DJI drones is amazing, but it suffers from two potential pitfalls. The first is we typically track a moving subject, and this can result in somewhat jerky movement depending on how smooth the movement of that subject is. The second problem is depending on the nature of your subject, tracking that subject from a distance or grabbing the initial lock on that subject could prove problematic. So we are going to solve both of those problems now. I want to do a point of interest here, round myself, round these rocks. Looks really nice. I'll show you the normal way we would do that and some of the problems we can encounter. Focus on myself by tapping the screen, draw a box around myself. You can see the subject recognition there. Tap point of interest, put it around to one of the sides, go. Okay, around it goes. Yeah, it's going to clear the boulder and we have a point of interest. Now, it's probably quite smooth, but I'd put money on it. It's a little bit jerky at some point. And if it's not, let's make it jerky by just rotating around a little bit, just giving the software something to think about. Yep, this is not quite as smooth as I would like. Look at this. Oh, there it was. It just jerked down a little bit. That's not ideal, and we want super smooth cinematic results. Now, the closer you are to your subject, the harder it is for the drone to maintain a nice smooth orbit in this instance. But the second issue is if we fly away a bit to try and give the drone a bit more room to create that orbit, then we could find the second pitfall coming into play, whereby the software can't track the subject in the first place. Check this out. Instead of selecting myself as the subject, let's select an inanimate object on the ground. Do you remember way back with the Phantom 2, Phantom 4? You couldn't select yourself. You had to identify a point on the ground to track around. So in this instance, let's see if we can select that big boulder there. Yes, we can. Now here's the hacky part. Instead of just setting it off on your point of interest or spotlight or whatever it is, just move the controller a little bit. Try and get it to change that cross. There we go. It's changed the cross to a point. Now we have our position locked on the ground here. I'll make sure there's nothing this can crash into. We'll set off the point of interest, round to the side. Let's go nice and fast. Keep it dramatic. Off it goes. Now watch that. Look at that little pointer. Okay, it's dotting around a little bit, but trust me, the motion is smooth. Away it goes. And the beauty of this is irrespective of what I do, of how I move, if I turn around, it's not going to mess up the tracking. Not in the slightest. So in this instance, let's go for a walk. Let's turn it into a storytelling shot. You know, there's something happening here. It's not just me standing motionless because I'm scared that I'm going to mess up my point of interest. This is incredibly powerful for point of interest and for spotlight. I probably can't be seen now, I'm behind that rock. So how about I just stand here for a second and let the drone come round and reveal me. And I'm going to walk away. Again, doesn't matter. I'm not messing up the shot by moving. I can pass entirely through the frame because that rock isn't going anywhere, is it? Whoops. Amazing stuff. First problem solved. Before we get on to fixing the issue of tracking a subject from miles away, do grab yourself a copy of our free ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero, 37 tips to get you flying like a filmmaker. Packed full of useful information. It's free, link in the description below. That deals with the first issue of jumpy motion when you're doing your orbits or spotlight. I'll show you some examples in a second. But what about the issue with the subject being far too far away? It can't track that subject if the drone gets too far away from you as a person. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll select an area on the ground. Let's just do the same again. We'll fly back this time and we'll fly up and we'll just relocate this point of interest. It's got no problem tracking that point on the ground. Okay, let's go with that for example. And we'll set it off on another point of interest and let's see what kind of results we get. Full speed going the other way. Off it goes. Now it's altered my gimbal there, which I didn't want. Let's tilt it down a little bit, try and get some rule of thirds there. Okay, it's settled on that point on the top of the hill now, and away it goes. Smooth as can be, no issue with tracking some tiny little subject. We got some amazing results with the car, tracking the car from miles away, doing these big arcing motions, having the car pass into the frame. It's beautiful storytelling stuff. It's all part of the art of creating cinematography, for want of a better and less grandiose word. That is ultimately what we're trying to do here, is create some nice shots that you want to watch and that are going to keep people engaged. Look at that landscape, look at the layers in there, the light, the textures, absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you another demonstration of this technique with an incredible spotlight maneuver that I really like to do. Now, traditionally with spotlight, you would try and select yourself as the subject. Let's see if we can even do that. Well, this isn't going too well, is it? Try that again. Oh, no, it's not picked me, that's for sure. It's picked something. Let's pick this rock in the foreground instead. Remember, we want to turn that square into a kind of point. That's the hacky part of this. Right, there we go. Right, it's locked onto that rock now. Good, we're not going to get any interruptions in the middle of our shot, and you're getting an indication of what kind of shot we're getting here. Cine mode engaged, let's fly straight up. Have you seen me yet? I hope so. Does it look absolutely awesome? I hope so. We'll do the same move in reverse, and this time we're going to reveal the incredible landscape that I'm standing staring at. I just need to be a little bit careful not to fly it too low. Yeah, it's tilting up beautifully. Oh, look at that! Look at that, and I'm going to stop here. Oh, what a shot!
And with that, folks, you hopefully have a completely new take on how to create cinematic footage using focus track. As you can tell, this stuff gets us excited, so if you want 9 hours of excitement, do check out our Drone Cinematography Masterclass version 3.0. That will give you the information you need to differentiate yourself from your peers and make some money with your drone. Until next time, happy flying.